Mom texted me the night before graduation. We're too tired to attend your ceremony. They were in Italy with my sister. They'd just finished a yacht trip. Dad threw his back out, apparently. We can't travel again, she wrote. You understand, right? Love you. My name is Megan Monroe, and I was 26. I stared at the screen in silence. 3 years at Harvard Law. Summa cum laude. Law review. Sears Prize. Commencement speaker. They knew none of it. I typed something small and safe. Rest well. Then I closed my phone quietly. The next morning, my speech aired nationwide. CNN broadcast it live. Their calls started instantly. 17 missed calls in 1 hour. They weren't tired. They were uninterested. Until the world noticed me. Before we start, tell me where you're watching from. City/state or country. And one detail about your setup. Couch, bus, late shift, etc. Echoes of Life loves hearing your stories. Sarah, my college roommate and closest friend, slept across the room. Her breathing stayed soft and steady. I lay awake staring upward. My mother's message echoed relentlessly. Too tired to attend your graduation. Not sick. Not stranded. Not overwhelmed financially. Just tired from Melissa's Italy trip. I'd stopped expecting more years earlier. But it still bruised something inside. Harvard Law became my safe refuge. Professors noticed what my parents didn't. They encouraged every risk I took. They pushed me toward greater ambition. I built confidence in quiet increments. Brick by brick over time. Achievement by achievement alone. Home felt worlds away now. Melissa remained their constant sun. Every conversation revolved around her. Her apartments and clothing choices. Her temporary jobs and reinventions. I learned polite emotional distance. They never noticed the shift. Our calls grew shorter monthly. My updates stayed carefully surface level. Real victories stayed hidden intentionally. They never asked for details. But Professor Mitchell always asked. She became my strongest mentor. Her belief altered everything drastically. You see law deeply, she said. You think beyond standard frameworks. Her words carried enormous weight. She pushed me toward law review. She coached my competition rounds faithfully. She saw potential I nearly missed. Harvard became the family I lacked. Friends formed my steady backbone. Long nights became shared rituals. We studied until sunrise routinely. We celebrated every earned moment. They showed up without fail, in ways my parents never had. By graduation week, everything aligned. But they still knew nothing. Not the awards I earned. Not the commencement honor gained. Not the national recognition coming. Mom texted one final question. Will Melissa's Italy photos print nicely? I typed back one word. Sure. Then I closed the conversation and prepared for the biggest day. The night before graduation felt unreal. My printed speech waited beside me. I kept adjusting tiny sentences repeatedly. Perfection suddenly felt strangely necessary. Sarah watched from her neatly made bed. You're ready, she whispered confidently. Her calm steadied my shaking nerves. I tried sleeping but couldn't. My mind replayed every lonely milestone. Every victory achieved without witnesses. Every call home that meant nothing. Morning light finally reached our room. Graduation day arrived clear and bright. Harvard Yard buzzed with anticipation. Chairs stretched endlessly across the lawn. Faculty processed in brilliant academic robes. The air felt electric everywhere. My heart thudded beneath my gown. Families filled row after row. Mine stayed halfway across the world. I adjusted my summa cords carefully. Their colors felt impossibly heavy. Professor Mitchell spotted me immediately. Her smile carried unmistakable pride. It warmed something long neglected. Then the dean introduced me slowly. His voice carried across Harvard Yard. He listed achievements my parents overlooked. Law review. Sears Prize. Ames champion. Policy contributions influencing legislation. I stepped toward the podium deliberately. Thousands of faces turned upward. Camera lights blinked steady red. I inhaled deeply before speaking. What does success truly mean? My voice stretched confidently across rows. Is it applause from others? Or becoming someone you respect? I talked about being unseen. About striving in absolute silence. About building resilience without recognition. The crowd leaned in breathlessly. Some wiped quiet tears discreetly. Others nodded with painful understanding. Then I reached the core. To anyone unseen here today, you matter without external approval. You belong without borrowed praise. You rise even uncelebrated. Stillness settled over the entire yard. Then applause erupted like thunder. A full standing ovation followed instantly. The sound vibrated through my chest. Sarah hugged me afterward fiercely. Her family surrounded me warmly. Her mother Rosa teared up openly. You're joining dinner, she insisted proudly. No arguing tonight, sweetheart. Their pride startled something within. Their presence felt intensely healing. Their celebration felt like true belonging. Dinner overflowed with laughter constantly. They treated me like family. Not out of obligation ever. Out of genuine affection instead. Later, my phone buzzed uncontrollably. Missed calls stacked into chaos. Texts poured in every direction. From Mom. From Dad. From Melissa, the family favorite. From numbers I didn't recognize. They'd finally seen my success, not through love or presence, but through national television coverage. I silenced everything without hesitation, then returned to Rosa's warm laughter. Joy finally felt like mine. Not borrowed, not conditional. Truly earned on my terms. And their panic was only beginning. If this were your parents, what would you choose? Comment 1 to keep your distance quietly. Comment 2 to confront the truth directly. Echoes of Life is listening. The morning after graduation felt heavier. I finally turned my phone on. 73 missed calls stared back. Over 100 unread messages waited. Mom's texts came first in order. How could you not tell us? We're your parents, Megan. You humiliated us on national television. Everyone is asking why we weren't there. Dad's voicemails sounded confused and hurt. Sweetheart, we're proud of you. We just don't understand why you hid this. Melissa's messages were pure Melissa. Mom and Dad are freaking out. Everyone is asking why we chose Italy. You made us look horrible. Only one message felt steady. Aunt Linda, my mom's older sister, wrote, I saw your speech online. Chills. I'm so proud of you. I called her first, not them. She answered on the first ring. Sweetheart, how are you holding up? I stared at my coffee quietly. I don't even know, I admitted. She sighed, long and tired. Your mother called me last night hysterical. Not because she missed your moment, but because she was embarrassed publicly. Those words hit harder than expected. Linda continued carefully, choosing each syllable. Her exact phrase was, everyone knows we weren't there. Not, we should have been there. Not, we hurt Megan. Just everyone knows. I closed my eyes slowly. That sounded exactly like my mother. Appearances over accountability. Image over relationship. She and your father failed you, Linda said, in ways they don't understand. The question is, what now? After we hung up, I called home. Mom answered on the first ring. Megan, finally, she cried. We've been worried sick. No, you've been embarrassed, I said. Silence crackled across the line. She recovered quickly, like always. You deceived us, she snapped. You made this sound ordinary. I invited you, I said calmly. You chose Italy with Melissa instead. You chose a yacht over my graduation. We didn't know it was important. Every graduation is important, I answered. You just never asked about mine. Dad tried to jump in gently. Meg, we're proud of you, honey. You've accomplished incredible things. When did you show that? I asked. When I made law review? When I won the Sears Prize? When the dean chose me speaker? You never even asked, Dad. Silence stretched again between us. I didn't rush to fill it. So here's what happens now, I said. I'll send you the speech and photos. You can post whatever you need. Tell people you were sick traveling. Say there was a family emergency. Whatever helps your story make sense. Megan, please, Dad started softly. I'm not cutting you off, I continued. I'm just adjusting my expectations. Biology makes you my parents, but relationship requires effort and attention. I won't keep chasing that anymore. They didn't argue this time. Maybe they finally heard the truth. For the first time, I chose peace over their approval. After that call, the noise didn't stop. My speech kept traveling without me. Clips spread across social media quickly. Strangers tagged me in their stories. Students wrote long emails about feeling unseen. Professors I barely knew reached out. Headlines appeared on legal blogs. Harvard law speaker on invisible achievement. Valedictorian calls out conditional support. I didn't read most comments. Praise felt as dangerous as criticism. One email did catch my eye. It came from Professor Mitchell directly. Judge Chen's office just called, she wrote. She watched your speech twice. She wants to talk about clerking. Judge Chen, a rising federal judge, someone I'd admired from afar. We spoke later that week quietly. Her voice sounded firm yet kind. I saw your command of narrative, she said, and your grasp of systemic injustice. She offered me a clerkship position. Not someday, not maybe later. Next year when she moved upward. It felt unreal and absolutely earned. I hung up trembling and laughing. That night, my friends gathered around. Sarah, Marcus, Jennifer, and David from school. We crowded into a tiny restaurant. Rosa insisted on paying for everything. To Megan, Marcus toasted loudly. For building all this without permission. Glasses clinked around the table. For once, I let myself receive it. My phone buzzed again later. Aunt Linda this time texting gleefully. Our town Facebook group is melting, she wrote. Your mother is beside herself. I'm cackling, proud of you, sweetheart. I laughed out loud at that. It felt like oxygen, not poison. 3 weeks later, a different call came. Melissa's name flashed across my screen. I almost ignored it automatically. Curiosity finally won, just barely. Her voice sounded smaller than usual. I watched your whole speech, she said. Not clips, the entire thing. We sat in silence briefly. I kept hearing myself in it, she continued. The golden child who always needed saving. The one everyone centered around constantly. She took a shaky breath slowly. Mom made everything about me, she said. But it wasn't really for me. It was for how I made her look. Her words echoed my own thoughts. I was drowning with support, she admitted. You were starving without any. I'm not asking forgiveness today, Melissa added. I just finally see it. I see you, I'm sorry. Something inside me shifted gently. Not full trust. Not complete repair. Just room for possibility. Maybe we both deserved better, I said. From the same parents, different directions. We talked for an hour straight. About therapy. About patterns. About refusing to repeat them. When we hung up, the future felt different. Not healed. Not perfect. But open in a new way. And that open door followed me to Washington, D.C. Washington, D.C. felt like a different lifetime. My clerkship with Judge Chen flew. Long hours, hard cases, constant stretching. Then came the unexpected call one afternoon. A quiet voice from the White House. They wanted to discuss a judgeship nomination. At 33, it sounded impossible. But the background check was real. The hearings were real. The confirmation vote was real. On the day I took the oath, the courtroom felt almost sacredly still. Robes, flags, raised hands, cameras waiting. Sarah sat in the front row. Aunt Linda dabbed at happy tears. Old classmates filled an entire bench. My parents were there too, watching. Melissa sat beside them, shoulders squared. After the ceremony, Mom hugged me tightly. I'm so proud of you, Megan, she said. I hope you know that. I believed her in her way, but I didn't need it anymore. I thought about that old text. We're too tired to attend your graduation. And my reply? Rest well. Back then, it sounded obedient and small. Now it meant something different entirely. I had let them rest in their limits, so I could stop resting in mine. We took photos after the ceremony. My parents on one side, smiling carefully. My chosen family on the other side. Mentors, friends, people who actually showed up. I realized something simple and steady. The speech, the viral moment, the title. None of those proved my worth. They only reflected what was already there. I hadn't become enough that day. I'd finally believed I already was. Some families are born, some are built. Mine ended up both. If this resonated, please like the video, share it with someone exhausted, and subscribe to stay for the next story, here on Echoes of Life.